Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Jesse Stolz. I'm a real estate investor who started in the business in 2010. By the age of 30, I'd become a millionaire through my house flipping business. And fast forward to today, I still do multiple house flips a month. Simultaneously, I've grown my rental portfolio to 30 million in assets. So this is a really cool piece of property on 16 acres. It's a 3-bed, 3-bath, 2,500 square feet, built in 1981, pretty much dated from the 80s. Some upgrades were done inside a little bit, but the house does need some work. So I'm gonna take you inside and see what we're dealing with. Locked. I'm gonna have to cruise around the back. This was purchased at a foreclosure auction. There's a couple different strategies routes we could take on this deal and how we're going to monetize it. One being, doing what I call a full go, touching every surface on the renovation, and trying to hit a higher price point, which in this area with this type of acreage, 16 acres and a few different outbuildings and shops and whatnot. There's a big, behind me here, we got a big shop here, and then behind that one, there's a large ag building and or horse riding arena. And over here, we have a few horse stalls in this little lean-to here. With that said, a full go would probably get us around, we'd probably be listing this thing around 1.5 million. However, there's a big demand for quote unquote affordable product, and $1 million to $1.1 million may not sound very affordable, but it is given this area. So we may do minimal updates to the property. I'll show you once we get inside. It's really not that bad, and just relist it with maybe just some carpet and paint and some minor things. We are going to be doing one major thing to the property that is going to net us the bulk of our money in this deal, which I'll share with you once we get done walking the property. Saving the little cliffhanger for the end there for you. First up, let's go up to the back door here and see if we can get inside this thing. Here's the front door where I was at earlier, but I'll just kind of show you from the front entrance here. Really cool, well-built property from the 80s, but coming in through the front door, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,500 square feet, 2-car garage, multiple outbuildings on 16 acres. Much like they did in the 80s, sunken living rooms all over the place, which is a little different than they build them today, but you got a living room here, fireplace, dining room, which then wraps around to the kitchen, and then just coming in through the entry to our right is where the 3 bedrooms are. A big great room, or family room if you will, with multiple patios through sliding glass doors out each side, and then wrapping around. This is kind of, again, sunken living room here, step down, kind of a cool old back to the fireplace here. Kitchen is just clean, dated, probably updated, I don't know, maybe early 2000s potentially. This is some old school granite. It's in good shape, it's just dated. So obviously fix whatever's going on here with the range, do some exterior paint, clean up the place, do minimal fix up, and list it at $1 million or so, and then let somebody else come in and do the heavy lifting and gain some sweat equity. That's one option. Through the kitchen here, we have our 2-car garage, our laundry here, washer dryer there, and then a pantry over this way, and then obviously out back to the back area. You got a half bath here, off the laundry, which is nice, off the laundry and the garage. And then if we cruise down the hallway to where the bedrooms are located, we have bathroom number 1 that services the 2 bedrooms back down here. Double vanities, full bath and a shower. Bedroom 1 to my right, standard size bedroom. Bedroom 2 to my right, another standard size bedroom. Here is the master with a nice sliding glass door that goes out to the deck. Overlook your 16 acres and all your wonderful horses that are going to be in that lean-to. Horse people love that. And then the master bath. A little funky on layout, but this could be reconfigured because there is a decent amount of space here. This could be turned into a smaller double vanity. This is where your toilet and stand-up shower is. And then it's a good-sized master closet, but just very odd closet shelving. That all needs to go, and just kind of some standard closet rods and whatnot would open that up a little bit. Just get this place locked up before we leave. There's kind of a bunker underneath the house where the mechanical rooms are that I'll show you real quick. Cool little room downstairs. Not sure. Cool in some people's eyes, maybe weird in others, but kind of neat.
Oh,
out the front of this house, pretty cool views out of all the bedrooms that were down the hallway there. We all have views out the front here and from the living room, and then as well from the dining room here. Got some windows that need to be replaced, some broken seals, pretty minor stuff. All right, we're heading back outside, check out the mechanical room / bunker down below the house. Here's one of the little outdoor patios, covered patio, which is nice because we get a lot of rain around here. As you can see, this is a really big shop here. Pretty cool. And voila, our tucked away concrete bunker. I'm sure there's some other cool stuff you could do with this, but right now it's just a mechanical room with a broken doorknob. Kind of creepy. Access to the crawl space, and then one of the biggest water heaters I've ever seen, along with a newer furnace. So that's the concrete bunker. This is kind of, sure there's some other cool stuff you can do with this. So I'm standing up in the front corner of the property of the 16 acres we have here. Behind me you can see the horse barn shop, and then the house is right there. But we have 16 acres in total here, and all of this land that you can see is only roughly it's probably closer to 6 acres. Now, the remaining 16 acres is back behind there in through those fir trees. So we're going to walk back in there now and take a look at what we have back there. So let's go take a look. I'm assuming this here is the septic tank or something, which looks like it had some recent work done to it or something. Or it looks like it's been recently dug up or something. Look at this horse barn or ag building. And really, you can do whatever you want there. You can put a go-kart track in there. It's a dirt floor, ag building. So whether it's a horse riding arena, go-kart track, store your farm equipment, doesn't really matter. But it's a nice big barn. This is kind of cool. Old dozer we found. Or it happens to be on the property. Not really sure what we're going to do with this. It's going to have to be removed somehow. So whether we can sell it, or if we just have to turn it into scrap metal and take it in. I don't know. It looks pretty old. Looks like it hasn't ran in a while, but cool old piece of equipment. Just a creepy shed. Pretty thick wooded area in here. Big tall fir trees. So within this forest lies an additional $75,000 in potential flip income. And what that means is we have 16 acres here. So yeah, let me break it down for you. So we have 16 acres here, of which the upfront acreage that is pasture land, that's roughly 6 acres. And then the rest of the 16 is forest land. And then it even goes even further back. It goes back off a steep embankment that then there's a creek down at the bottom, which is pretty cool. So we have roughly 6 acres of an additional 6 acres of flat that is right now, as you can see, pretty thick forest land. So what we're going to be doing is harvesting the trees that are on this property, which will yield a profit for us in itself. And then then there's going to be a lot of land cleanup involved as well. We're going to have to pull all the stumps. We got to get all the debris and slash piles piled up and burned so this land is nice and clear. And then we'll come in and we'll actually excavate a lot of the land, make sure it's nice and smooth, and then we'll seed all this with a pasture seed so that now our usable acreage essentially doubles. So we'll go from 6 usable acres to now 12-ish usable acres remaining. So that puts us at 12 acres. The remaining 4 acres, like I mentioned, is off the bank there and goes down to a creek area. It's fairly unusable, but you can hike down to the creek and it's pretty cool. Now, so breaking this down, not only will we double our usable acreage, which will help us on the market, on our sales price, but these trees, after all the cleanup is done, harvesting these trees should bring us around $75,000 in additional income. Now, with that, there is some cleanup costs to be done that I had mentioned. We have to probably around $20,000 in cleanup costs. So maybe it brings our net additional income to around $55,000. The additional cleanup costs are things like we then have to come in and pull all the stumps. We don't have to do this, but in order to make the property most marketable, you're going to want to do this so it doesn't just look like a war zone out here. So we're going to have to come pull all the stumps, put them in a pile, get all the limbs and underbrush and everything into a pile as well so we can burn all that. Then once that's burned, we'll get some excavators in here and smooth out the land, get it nice and flat. We'll throw some seed down, some grass seed. That way we'll have 12 acres of usable pasture once this is all said and done, which will be a much more marketable product and more desirable to anybody who's looking for a 16-acre piece. Anyone looking for big land usually wants usable land. It doesn't do anybody any good to have 16 acres if you can only use an acre of it, right? So improving the land, improving the usability of it significantly can increase the value of the property. And that's what we're going to do here. Another cool thing to note is we'll know more once we actually start falling the trees and whatnot, but if you can kind of see behind me here, it looks like it might open up a potential view plane. No stellar view of anything, but at least it'll open up the view plane to where when you're looking out the back of the property, you're not just looking at a wall of timber, you now have just an open view plane essentially. And that is actually facing west, so you might actually be able to catch some west sunsets, which would be incredible. So that's another added bonus to opening this all up. Yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful piece of property. Just hiking through here, taking a look at some of the trees we got here. Man, this is gonna be amazing all opened up. It will be absolutely beautiful. Look at that.
Wow.
Forest land is just hard to keep up with in general too. You have the amount of just brush that comes in every single year and just briars, and the amount of sticks and debris that falls out of these trees every single year is wild. The amount of debris, pine needles, pine cones. There are a lot of maintenance if you do want to keep them. Pretty thick forest. Even though there's a fence here, that's still our property over there. They just had it fenced off, I guess, for maybe separate horse pastures or something. Not 100% sure, but it is, Jesus, this is brushy. It doesn't take long around here in the Pacific Northwest for these briars to just take over either. It's crazy. So we'll have to get a brush hog in here and get all these cleaned up. They start taking over fence lines and acreage and in a hurry. Oh, cool. You got a little shot of the mountain. This is awesome. While I was hiking around, I discovered a little pond at one corner of the property. While we're doing all this, we get an excavator in here and sometimes, clean up some of the sides and get some of the debris out of it. Kind of a cool little pond. Walking over here now to show you. At the very least, it's good for if you do have animals, which someone who buys this property probably will, whether it's horses, cows, goats, something, gives them a good water source. So here's that pond I was talking about. Kind of cool. I haven't looked in this, let's take a look inside this barn here. See what's going on in there. These people were definitely horse people who used to own this. There's the horse stalls in there, and then, maybe a long time, maybe even before the previous owner, but there's an old round pen. Man, there's lots of junk everywhere. Heading through the round pen real quick, we're heading to the indoor riding arena thing, / ag barn or whatever it is, / go-kart track, / storage. See what give you a look in there. All right, it is dark in here. All kinds of room for activities in here. Me personally, I'm doing a go-kart track or a mini bike track. But yeah, nice structure.